I think that the family deserves, I think, kind of some resolution to this whole thing. Not to say that, they're going to run out and solve the case right away, but I think that early on in any kind of a case like that, especially a homicide, you have to work on it consistently and right away. The Department of Justice, when they got involved, I can't remember Mike's last name, excellent investigator, he got involved and he worked his fingers to the bone, until he retired, and then it just sat there. They made a Keddie room. They shook a lot of paper to start things out with, but we never had the manpower, I think, to devote to the case. Most of the detectives, especially when I was in the detective bureau, there wasn't enough time in the day to do everything. And I think that's the reason that the case hasn't come to some kind of resolution, or I just don't think enough had been done. They needed to assign somebody to work the case, a cold case file or something like that, and we just didn't have the men to do it at that time. I don't think the blood evidence was tested up until just recently. I'm just, like I said, but that was just from information that I had received.
Are there good cops? Are there bad cops?
Oh, I believe there are, yeah.
Are you a good cop?
I hope to God I have been. I spent a lot of years trying to be the best cop I could.
What happened with you in the department?
With me in the department? I got involved in politics, and I called the sheriff a liar on public radio. With regards to narcotics trafficking, and I caught a lot of flack for it, but I've always been honest, and that's almost to a fault, and caused my family a lot of heartache because of the fact that I have a tendency to stand up and say exactly what I believe, and my family and myself, we paid for it, but right is right and wrong is wrong.
Well, what goes on here is what matters. Right?
Oh, absolutely. It's the job as a police officer is relies on compassion and common sense, I think, and I hope that's what I conveyed during that period of time. It destroyed it, basically. People didn't want to move down there, obviously, because of the stigma of a major homicide going on down there. During that period of time when I was off the job, I took over the management of the back door as a bar downstairs from the restaurant. And the restaurant was a real thriving restaurant up until that period of time, and nobody wanted to go there, So.
You were actually working at the restaurant after you...
After the homicide, yeah.
The restaurant in Keddie?
Mm-hmm.
While you were there, did you discover anything?
No, I didn't. You hear people talking, those kinds of things, but it had been a period of time after the homicide that it was probably the better part of a year, I would guess, I think the building was still standing. Yes, it was still standing, and nobody. I think they may have rented it for a short period of time, but after a while they just tore it down. Nobody wanted to rent the place, I got to see some of the photographs of the homicide, and as you said, and I told you before, they were horrific. And Dana, everybody, it was obvious to me by the photos and everything that Dana expired sitting in a chair, just by the fashion of his body and lividity and the things that I observed. Some of them are so hard, without seeing the photos and pointing out the things that I observed at that period of time. It was, like I said, not a pretty sight, none of it. And it was something that just shocked this entire community. We never locked our doors before my kids got up and locked all the doors. So...